Welcome to our channel and thank you for joining us today where we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unexpected fortune that might just be sitting in your pocket change. And in this video we are going to explore the story of the 2001 P1 dime USA coin, which though carrying a face value of only 10 cents has been reported and believed to hold a staggering worth of up to $0.76 million due to its unique errors, mistakes, and mint mark issues that set it apart from ordinary coins, making it one of those mysterious numismatic wonders that collectors dream about discovering. And as we begin, it's important to realize that the value of coins is not just tied to their denomination or the year they were issued, but often hinges on their condition, rarity, historical context, and most importantly the errors that occur during minting. And when we speak of errors, we are not just talking about minor scratches or circulation damage, but genuine mint errors such as double strikes, misaligned dies, off-center stamping, missing mint marks, clipped planches, wrong planchette strikes, die cracks, and other anomalies which can elevate an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for, and the 2001 P dime is no exception. In fact, this coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 2001, is one of those cases where the letter P denoting Philadelphia sometimes carries striking anomalies, because in some runs the mint mark itself may be missing, faint, repunched, or misplaced, leading to varieties that set numismatic hearts racing. And now if we consider why the 2001 P dime could fetch as much as $760,000, it is essential to discuss the types of known minting errors associated with dimes in general. Because history tells us that Roosevelt dimes struck after 1965 were made of a clad composition of copper and nickel, yet occasionally an error results in coins being struck on the wrong planchettes, such as silver planches left over from earlier production or foreign coin blanks mistakenly fed into the machines, and when such a situation occurs the resulting dime is immediately rare and valuable. Combine this with a 2001 date and AP mint mark and the coin transforms into a highly desirable treasure. And collectors value these not just for their metal composition but for their rarity, since very few survive quality control and slip into circulation. And in the case of the 2001 P dime, there are also reports of double die obverse errors where the inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 2001 appear doubled under magnification, and these doubling errors are highly sought after because they are visible even to the naked eye in some cases and create a striking deviation from the standard design. And if that was not enough, there are coins struck off-center, meaning the die did not align correctly with the blank planchette and part of the design is missing, while a blank crescent of metal is left on one side. And such off-center strikes, if extreme and showing the full date, are often worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, and when combined with a popular year like 2001 and the P mint designation, the price multiplies since demand among collectors intensifies. And perhaps the most famous anomaly linked to certain 2001 P dimes is the missing mint mark issue, because mint marks are crucial for identifying where a coin was struck, and when a dime that should have a P mint mark does not show it due to a filled die or striking error, then that coin is instantly scarce and sparks bidding wars in auctions, with some collectors paying life-changing amounts to secure one for their collection. And while not every error dime is worth hundreds of thousands, the extreme rarity of certain combinations like missing mint mark plus double die plus pristine condition can push values toward the record-breaking $0.76 million mark we are discussing today. And what makes this even more fascinating is the fact that millions of 2001 P dimes were minted and distributed into circulation, meaning that ordinary people might still have such a treasure hiding in an old jar, drawer, or wallet without realizing its potential. And this is why coin hunting has become such an exciting hobby, because stories of individuals discovering coins worth hundreds of thousands among their change are real and well documented, and the 2001 P dime remains a shining example of how a simple 10-cent coin can become a fortune. And when we discuss the possibility of value climbing into hundreds of thousands, it is also important to consider grading, because professional grading services like PCGS or NGC assess the condition of the coin and assign a grade on the Sheldon scale, where coins graded mint state 65 or higher with full strike details, sharp rims, and nowhere command a huge premium compared to circulated examples, and thus a 2001 P dime with a rare error in superb gem condition could realistically bring in offers nearing $750,000, especially if competition among collectors drives bidding up. And while some may find it hard to believe that such a small coin can reach such a lofty value, history proves otherwise, since many dimes like the 1975 no-S proof dime or the 1968 no-S proof dime have sold for hundreds of thousands at auction simply because of their mint mark errors, and therefore the 2001 P dime fits into a long tradition of error coins becoming legendary in the numismatic community. And beyond the technical aspects, there is also the cultural fascination, because coins are not just money but miniature pieces of history that tell us about the era in which they were made, the designs chosen to honor great figures like Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the technological limitations of the minting process that sometimes lead to mistakes. And when mistakes occur in such a precise and regulated system, they create something unintended, unique, and beautiful in the eyes of collectors. And so the 2001 P dime, valued at up to 0.76 million, is not just an error coin but a symbol of how chance, history, and human error can converge to create wealth from the ordinary. And this brings us to the practical question of how you can check if your 2001 P dime is valuable. And the answer begins with careful examination under good lighting and magnification to look for signs of doubling on the inscriptions, to check if the mint mark P is present, missing, or oddly shaped, to see if the strike appears off-center, and to look at the rims for clips or cracks, and if any of these anomalies are present, then the next step is to consult with a professional coin dealer or submit the coin for grading, because only an expert opinion and certification can unlock its true market potential. And once certified, such coins often appear at major auctions hosted by heritage auctions or stacks bowers, where collectors from around the world compete fiercely, and the record prices achieved are then reported across numismatic journals, making legends out of what once seemed like ordinary dimes. And even though the 2001 P dime may not be as commonly known as older rarities like the 1894 S Barber dime or the 1916 D Mercury dime, its modern status as a high-value error coin shows that treasure hunting is not limited to coins centuries old but can extend even to coins minted in the 21st century, and this keeps the thrill alive for both seasoned collectors and beginners alike, because who would not want to find a dime worth nearly $1 million? And so, as we wrap up this long exploration into the mysteries and possibilities surrounding the 2001 P1 dime USA coin, we must appreciate the delicate balance of history, error, rarity, and demand that creates such astonishing values, and remember that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than the metal it is struck on. So keep searching, keep learning, and maybe the next time you look at the change in your pocket, you might just discover that fortune has been with you all along in the form of a simple dime minted in 2001 at Philadelphia, but carrying errors and mysteries that elevate it from 10 cents to $0.76 million and beyond, making it one of the most exciting hidden treasures in modern numismatics. Today, as we take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of coin collecting, the story of the 2011 P1 dime USA coin, a coin with a face value of just 10 cents, yet it has stunned collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts by being valued at an astonishing $90 million because of its rare errors, unusual mistakes, and unique mint mark anomalies that make it stand out from the billions of ordinary dimes produced in the same year. And this incredible journey into understanding why a small piece of metal could be worth more than luxury mansions, yachts, or even high-end sports cars begins with an exploration of how coins are made, what errors can occur, and why collectors across the globe are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for examples that break the rules of uniformity. So let's start by talking about the history of the dime itself, which has long been a staple of US currency, and especially the Roosevelt dime that has been minted continuously since 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, with the Philadelphia Mint being one of the major facilities striking billions of these coins over the decades. And while most 2011 P Roosevelt dimes are worth exactly their face value, just 10 cents, a select few stand out due to mistakes that occurred during the minting process, and these rare examples are the ones that drive incredible value. And in the case of the particular 2011 P dime we are discussing, collectors believe the coin was the result of a combination of errors, including a possible double die strike, off-center minting, planchette flaws, and an unusual mint mark placement, all of which combine to create a numismatic masterpiece that cannot be replicated. So why do errors make coins valuable? The answer lies in rarity and demand, because when billions of identical coins are produced every year, a mistake stands out as a 1 in a billion type occurrence, and serious collectors will pay huge premiums to acquire such coins for their collections. And in this case, the coin's uniqueness is magnified because it is not just one type of error but potentially multiple layered mistakes, which makes it exponentially rarer. For example, a dime struck with a double die error means that during production the die used to imprint the coin shifted slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect visible on the lettering or portrait. And another error like an off-center strike means that the design is not perfectly aligned on the planchet, causing part of the image to appear off the rim. And if the coin also has a mint mark anomaly such as a misplaced P or a repunched mint mark, it further adds to its story. And numismatists absolutely love coins that tell unique stories, and the 2011 P dime in question seems to be a perfect storm of such conditions. So much so that appraisers and private collectors have suggested its market value to be as high as $90 million, which might sound unbelievable, but in the world of rare collectibles, extraordinary prices are often achieved when rarity, demand, and historical intrigue align perfectly. Think of other collectibles like rare stamps, misprinted trading cards, or unique art pieces that defy traditional pricing models. Coins fall into the same category, and this dime is now considered a trophy piece in numismatics. And to understand why, we must also talk about the psychology of collectors, because collectors are not simply buying a piece of metal, they are buying history, exclusivity, bragging rights, and the thrill of owning something no one else has. And with billions of ordinary dimes out there, owning the only dime known with such extreme and rare errors is like owning a piece of American minting history. And this is why when such coins appear at auctions or in private sales, bidding wars break out and prices skyrocket far beyond what the average person would expect. And it is not just about the technical error itself, but also about the condition of the coin, because grading plays a huge role in determining value, with organizations like PCGS and NGC grading coins on a scale from poor to perfect mint state. And if a coin with such unique errors is also in near flawless condition, the value multiplies further, making it plausible that this 2011 P dime, preserved in such remarkable state, could reach such astronomical prices. Now let's also explore how minting errors actually happen, because the United States Mint is known for its precision and strict quality control, but no system is perfect, and in high-volume production environments where billions of coins are struck every year, occasional mistakes slip through, dies wear out, mechanical shifts occur, human oversight happens, and planchets sometimes get misfed or damaged before striking. And while most flawed coins are caught and destroyed, a few manage to escape into circulation, and those few become treasures once discovered. Often years later, when someone casually finds one in change or while searching rolls of coins from the bank. And it is this element of chance discovery that makes error coins even more appealing, because the idea that you could find something worth millions in your pocket change excites everyone from seasoned collectors to everyday people. And countless stories exist of individuals stumbling upon valuable coins without even realizing what they had until an expert pointed it out. So imagine holding an ordinary dime that is secretly worth $90 million. The thrill of discovery alone makes such coins legendary. And when we specifically consider the 2011 P dime, the speculation is that it may not have just one error but a combination, such as a die crack running across the portrait of Roosevelt, a doubled lettering on the motto "In God We Trust," an off-center design that reveals partial blank planchet along the rim, and a repunched mint mark that shows a shadow of an extra P beneath the main one. Each of these individually could add value, but combined together they create a one-of-a-kind coin, essentially a numismatic miracle. And this is why collectors and experts are willing to call it a nine-figure coin. Now, another fascinating angle is that coins like this often have provenance, meaning a record of ownership and discovery. And provenance can itself add to value because collectors love stories attached to their coins, whether it was discovered in circulation, found in a coin roll, or preserved by mistake in an original mint set. The backstory makes the coin even more desirable. And for the 2011 P dime in question, reports suggest that it was first noticed by a dedicated collector who recognized the unusual features and sent it for grading. And once authenticated, the buzz spread quickly in numismatic circles, drawing interest from wealthy collectors worldwide. And the media hype further fueled the legend of the coin, because once a coin reaches headlines for being worth more than some luxury estates, its fame becomes self-sustaining. And this fame itself boosts demand and value. And when demand collides with rarity, you get astronomical prices, which is exactly what has happened here. And beyond the sheer fascination of value, coins like this also serve an educational purpose, because they remind us of the complexity and artistry of minting, the fallibility of even the most sophisticated systems, and the enduring human fascination with rarity. And it is not just the United States where error coins are valued so highly. Across the world, error coins from various mints often command high prices, whether it's a misprinted euro coin, a Canadian coin struck with the wrong planchet, or an ancient Roman coin with double strikes. The principle is the same. Rarity plus demand equals extraordinary value, and in the American context, dimes have always had a special place, and Roosevelt dimes especially because they honor a beloved president and symbolize an era of resilience. So when such a coin combines historical significance with extreme rarity through minting mistakes, you get a perfect recipe for collector obsession, and that obsession translates into multi-million-dollar valuations. And one must also consider the investment perspective, because wealthy individuals often view rare coins as alternative investments similar to art, wine, or classic cars, and with tangible assets like coins, there is both aesthetic appeal and financial security, because they are portable, historically significant, and globally recognized. So buying a coin like the 2011 P dime for $90 million is not just about collecting, it's also about securing a rare investment piece that will likely grow in value over time as more collectors compete for fewer unique items, and this trend is not slowing down. In fact, the market for rare coins has grown significantly over the last few decades, with record-setting auction prices regularly making headlines, and each time a new record is set it reinforces the value of coins as serious collectibles and investment vehicles. And when you consider the possibility that this dime might be the only one of its kind in existence, it makes sense why its valuation has reached such dizzying heights, because in collecting, the principle of absolute rarity, meaning only one known example exists, carries unmatched weight. And now, as we reflect on this incredible story, it is worth imagining the possibilities, because right now there may be other extraordinary era coins sitting unnoticed in drawers, piggy banks, or circulation, waiting to be discovered. And this is part of the magic of coin collecting, that anyone anywhere might stumble upon a treasure, and it could be as small and unassuming as a dime. So the story of the 2011 P dime serves as both a fascinating case study of numismatic value and a reminder to always look closely at the coins we handle every day, because you never know when you might be holding a fortune in your hand. And where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, numismatics, and incredible stories hidden in the small pieces of metal that often pass through our hands without a second thought. And today we will explore one such story that has stunned collectors, treasure hunters, historians, and ordinary people who might still have change sitting in their pockets or tucked away in jars. Because we are talking about the 2015 D1 dime USA coin that has been reported to reach a staggering worth of $0.87 million, a jaw-dropping value when compared to its face value of just 10 cents, and the reasons behind this immense difference lie in the world of minting errors, rare mistakes, mint mark anomalies, and the complex possibilities that transform a simple circulating coin into a rare and priceless collectible. So let's embark on a long, detailed journey into how such a coin exists, why collectors are willing to pay such mind-boggling amounts for it, and what kind of errors and mistakes give this particular dime its extraordinary reputation. Because when we speak of coin collecting, we are not merely talking about metal currency, we are talking about history, rarity, craftsmanship, accident, and human error all merging into one tiny artifact that can become worth more than luxury cars or even houses. And that is why coins like the 2015 D dime continue to fascinate people worldwide. To truly understand why a coin minted in 2015 at the Denver Mint with a simple D mint mark could become so valuable, we need to go back to the basics of how coins are made and what errors can occur during the minting process, because every coin begins as a blank planchette, which is a flat piece of metal prepared for striking, and these planchets are fed into high-pressure coin presses where dies engraved with designs strike them and leave impressions, producing the coins we recognize and use every day. And while modern minting technology is highly advanced with strict quality controls, mistakes can still happen, and these mistakes, whether they are doubled dies, off-center strikes, planchette errors, wrong metal compositions, missing elements, or misplaced mint marks, can create rare varieties that collectors crave. And in the case of the 2015 D dime, certain reported specimens display a range of unusual features that make them exceptionally rare, including possible doubled dies on the lettering, misaligned mint marks, striking errors where the design elements are partially missing, and planchets that may not have matched the correct metal composition intended for the Roosevelt dime. And when such errors combine or exist in even a single coin, they create what collectors call a rarity, which in turn drives value into astronomical territory. Now, it might sound unbelievable to casual viewers that a coin minted less than a decade ago could carry a price tag of nearly $1 million, especially since most people associate valuable coins with much older historical pieces from the 1800s or early 1900s. But in reality, modern coins with rare errors can be just as valuable, because rarity does not necessarily depend on age but on scarcity, condition, demand, and uniqueness. And when we talk about the 2015 D-Dime, we are talking about a coin that exists in limited numbers with certain anomalies that make it incredibly desirable. For example, one reported specimen had a dramatic misstrike that left part of the coin blank and the other part with overlapping doubled lettering, while another displayed a faint mint mark error where the D was misaligned and almost appeared as if there was a secondary impression of it, leading to confusion and fascination among collectors. And there are even rumors of 2015 D-Dimes struck on experimental planches or transitional metal blends, something that has happened before in US coinage history and always results in high values when discovered. To add to this intrigue, we must consider the cultural and historical importance of the Roosevelt dime, which was first issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt and has since remained one of the most familiar coins in circulation. And though billions have been minted over the decades, the presence of rare varieties in such a common series adds spice to collecting, because while most dimes are only worth 10 cents, a small handful with unique mistakes rise to life-changing amounts. And this contrast makes the hunt for valuable coins both exciting and accessible, since anyone could technically stumble across one in their spare change, though the chances are incredibly slim, yet the possibility itself fuels an entire community of treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. When analyzing the 2015 D-Dime, numismatists point out that it belongs to a relatively modern period where coins are produced in mass quantities with fewer noticeable errors compared to earlier decades. But that does not eliminate the existence of rare mistakes. Instead, it makes them stand out even more when they are found, because the Denver Mint, one of the primary US mint facilities, typically produces coins with high precision, and any deviation in such an environment tends to be caught quickly, which means the few that escape quality checks and enter circulation become instantly valuable, and collectors know this, which is why the demand for confirmed error dimes from 2015 with the D mint mark has exploded, creating auctions where bidding wars push values far beyond the comprehension of non-collectors, resulting in sales figures like $870,000 for a single dime. And while some skeptics question these reports, the undeniable fact remains that rare minting errors on modern coins can and do sell for incredible sums, and examples from other denominations and years support this truth. For instance, consider the famous 2004 Wisconsin state quarter with an extra leaf on the corn stalk, or the 1999 Lincoln cent struck on the wrong planchet, or the 2007 Washington dollar missing edge lettering, all of which skyrocketed in value despite being from modern times, because error coins fascinate collectors due to their rarity. And in a similar way, the 2015 D-Dime represents a modern anomaly whose story captivates both experts and amateurs, and what makes it even more fascinating is the mystery of how many such pieces might exist, whether they were accidentally released in rolls of dimes distributed to banks, or whether they were discovered by sharp-eyed collectors searching through bags, and this aura of mystery only increases their allure. Another key factor in the extreme value of this dime is its condition, because in numismatics, grade matters immensely, and coins graded at higher levels such as MS67, MS68, or even higher command prices many times greater than those in circulated condition, and if the error 2015 D-Dime exists in pristine uncirculated state with sharp details, luster, and minimal marks, its value skyrockets further, which explains how a dime that would otherwise be worth a few cents above face value could leap into the hundreds of thousands or millions, because rarity plus condition equals demand, and demand drives price in an exponential way. Now, let us consider the psychology behind why collectors are willing to spend nearly $1 million on a dime, because for many, it is not just about owning a coin, it is about owning a piece of history, an anomaly that no one else has, a trophy that represents luck, perseverance, and exclusivity, and the thrill of acquiring such a piece makes collectors compete aggressively in auctions, often driving the price far beyond logical limits, but at the same time, this also highlights how numismatics is a blend of art, science, and passion, where the value is not in the metal but in the story, the mistake, the rarity, and the uniqueness. And for the 2015 D-Dime, its story is still being written, as new discoveries of similar errors may arise, more reports may confirm or deny certain varieties, and the numismatic community continues to debate, study, and admire this extraordinary little coin. It is also important to explore the possibilities of what exact errors make the 2015 D-Dime special, because reports vary, and while some claim dramatic doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word, "liberty," others mention off-center strikes where the portrait of Roosevelt is shifted noticeably from the center, and still others mention clip planches, broad strikes without a rim, and even transitional metal content errors where the dime might have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, and while not all of these claims may be verified, the mere possibility adds excitement and fuels collector interest, because in the world of rare coins, rumors often precede discoveries, and discoveries create legends, and legends, in turn, create immense value. Furthermore, mint mark errors are one of the most discussed aspects of the 2015 D-Dime, because the mint mark D, indicating Denver, is supposed to be precise and clear, but some specimens show doubling, weakening, misplacement, or even partial absence of the mint mark, and this has led to speculation that multiple dies with flaws were used during production, creating a variety of error coins that slipped into circulation, and collectors always chase mint mark anomalies, because they are among the most visible and easily recognized types of errors, which makes them popular and thus valuable, so when combined with other mistakes, the price of such a coin multiplies dramatically. In addition to mint errors, one cannot ignore the role of population reports in determining value, because grading services like PCGS and NGC certify coins and publish how many specimens of each variety exist in top grades, and if the 2015 D-Dime error has only a handful of known certified examples, then its scarcity alone justifies the enormous price, because in the world of collecting, rarity plus certif